Take four. Take four. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Dave's Garage. My name is Dave. This is my garage. This is where I teach people how to play the saxophone. In need of a lesson? Stop by if you're in the Southern California area, or we can do something on Zoom. How to set it up? Go to my email, davegoodsax@gmail.com, davegoodsax@gmail.com, or, yak at me in the comments section below, and I'll get right back to you. Before we proceed, is it hot where you live? Was that like, of course, not a rhetorical question. I'm sure, yes, unless you live in the Antarctic or something like that. Yes, it's probably hot as all heck there. It has been in the 90 pluses here, day and almost day and night. So the hammer, yes, whatever. The summer hammer is down. And I tend to get lazy when it's really hot. Lazy about practicing, lazy about doing just about anything, like posting new YouTube. You know, it's been a while since I've been on the channel. To my defense, I haven't felt real good. Had a couple of little minor health issues. I'm okay, but they tend to take time off the clock as well. So I'm glad to be back. And I want to thank all of those of you who continue to support this homemade do-it-yourself effort from the garage here. And all of those of you who have reached out and gotten lessons or have had questions or just comments, I've just so enjoyed each and every one of you. So I'm grateful for all 400 and I think it's 12 of you as of today, 412 subscribers. I know, that's wonderful. Just about you and me. I don't promote this thing. I don't have a script. I kind of know what I'm going to talk about before I talk about it. I don't even watch my own videos when I'm done. And some of the comments are, I talk too much. Yeah, I kind of do. That's why I'm doing this one in the afternoon, well past the coffee hours. So I'll try to keep this one brief. Today I'm going to talk about how the octave key makes us kind of lazy. We become kind of lazy in the use of this modern convenience called the octave key. Right here, baby. And I'll explain where I'm going with all this in a minute. Think about any other wind instrument that has an octave key. Okay, the oboe has 2 or 3, I think. I'm not an oboist, but I think oboes have 2 or 3 octave keys. The bassoon has a whisper key, some medieval kind of a thing. Clarinet has a register key, which is like an octave key, but it is not an octave key, okay? So you think about the other wind instruments, from flute all the way to tuba. They're doing it with breath, right? Wind, power alone. That's it. There's no octave key. There's nothing to help them jump an octave. So the saxophone has this octave key right here, and, well, duh. You already knew that, I know. Overstate the obvious, Dave. So you've got the octave key, and it allows you to play in an upper range on your saxophones without having to change anything. You don't have to change the flow of it. You don't have to change the speed of the air going into the saxophone. All you got to do is push the button, right? Now the laziness comes in because none of you, and I'm going to make a blanket statement, almost nobody puts enough air into the saxophone to keep it in tune, to make it sound beautiful, to do what it needs to do. This beast right here is my tenor sax. This is an Olds, by the way, Olds Ambassador. The saxophone needs a tremendous amount of air, right? And almost none of us puts that amount of air into the saxophone in order to make it really pop and to really, play in just beautifully in every note, right? And part of that, I think, is the octave key. I think it's given us it's a false sense of security that we can actually play up to the top without that. So what we're going to do today, and this is a great exercise, by the way. This is a great exercise to help you with your resonance, right? The ability to project, to sound full and rich. And what we're going to do is we're going to forget you have an octave key and just play the mid-range. Let's do a D major scale from the middle of the horn up, okay? And I want you to go as high as you can, but you don't get to use your octave key, okay? So we'll find out where you fall out here. Quite a few of us stop at A or B. Here we go, tenor sax, and I'm going to play without my octave key. Here's In fact, I'll do bad hand form and just show you that I'm not lying. Sorry, you hear the note starting to crumble a little bit in the lower octave coming back in. That's because my air slowed down, right? That's what happens. You've just learned by doing this that your air, not necessarily your fingering, but your air, flow, speed, quality thereof, controls the notes on your saxophone. By the way, those are all overtones. The first octave is the first overtone of any note, and you just played overtones. I don't know how well you did, but I'm sure, it's not that hard to do. Now, if you can pull this off, it tells me that, one, that you're putting enough air into the saxophone to make it work. And we're going to go back to using your octave key, of course, but your saxophone is going to sound so much better because you know about airflow and air speed now, right? So, and it also tells me that your tongue is in the right place. Where's your tongue? In my head, Dave. No. You want to lay that tongue down and maybe tuck up behind your lower teeth. Not polite to talk with my tongue tucked like that, but let's try it again. Tuck your tongue, fill it with air, and blow straight into that mouthpiece. I'm going to lower my strap a little bit here. Okay. So you can really play the saxophone pretty much without ever using your octave key, just like a flute player, just like a piccolo player, just like a trombone doesn't have an octave key, trumpet, tuba, euphonium, none of those guys. French horn, nobody has an octave key. Except the aforementioned instruments at the beginning and the saxophones. All the saxophones have them, and they all tend to make us a little bit lazy as players in terms of putting enough air into the horn. So I'd like you to do this exercise for 6 days in a row. Do this every day. Play the mid-range of your saxophone without your octave key. All right? Go up and down and make long tones out of it. Start soft, get loud, and get soft again. Cold, hot, cold, okay? Do that with all the notes. Do that for 6 days and get back to me on the 7th day and let me know. It sounded kind of biblical. Get back to me on the 7th day. Let me know how it worked for you. If you're noticing any change in your tone, if your top octaves are popping a little bit more, if your resonance has increased, right? The ability to fill a room with the sound of your saxophone, and without overblowing. And those are just all wonderful benefits that come from, not using your octave key. And then, going back to using your octave key. I'm not using my octave key for the last time here. Let's do this together. Ready? D. E. The tendency is to want to clamp down a little bit with your biters. Don't do that. Don't tighten your embouchure. This is all about airflow and your tongue. If the note's degrading, if it's coming apart, it's because you're not putting enough air in and your tongue is in the wrong place. Remember, flat tongue against the lower teeth, not the upper teeth, the lower teeth, okay? Hey, questions, davegoodsax@gmail.com or comments below. So grateful for all of you. Thanks for being here today in Dave's Garage. Stay cool and play your horn. Talk to you again.